What's up, y'all? I'm still out here on the range hanging out doing some testing on this beautiful sunny day. It's turned out absolutely perfect to be out here doing this testing. Temperatures I think are low 60s already right now. It's only supposed to hit like mid to high 60s. I'll be out of here after this one though. Very, very light breeze, nice bright sunshine, so you can't hardly ask for much better than this. And to top it off, I've had two really nice performances from a couple of tests out here today. There's no doubt in my mind that this one right here is going to be another good one. We're going to end it out with some big boy Magnum rounds. So we got the jelly contraption ready to go for one more test with a couple of chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now I have done 2 tests so far. This far block is really full of tracks. Hopefully this stuff is going to be spicy and punching hard enough that it may not get into this second one. And if it does, it's probably going to already have done its thing by then. As you can see, this front block is completely clear, so I got plenty of room. Of course, like I always mention, I use a heavy clothing barrier up front that's got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And like I mentioned, we got some Magnum stuff for this last one here. We got the Federal Premium Hydra Shok in 44 Magnum. Now this is a 240 grain round. As you can see, nice nickel plated case there. You got the case cannula there to prevent setback. And then you got that Hydra Shok round with the post in the middle. Now for the most part, Hydra Shok's been a really good performer out of most calibers. Just recently I tested the 45 ACP Hydra Shok. Very, very nice performance from that. This right here, I have no doubt is going to knock it out of the park. Now again, it's a 240 grainer. They're saying 1210 feet per second at the muzzle, and that's from a 4-inch ported barrel. So with what we're running them out of here today, we should see every bit of that and then some. For the shorter barrel here, I've got the Taurus tracker that has the 4-inch ported barrel. Now I mention all the time, this is technically a 4-inch ported barrel, but down in that last inch, it's just a big blast chamber. Right here, the barrel actually stopped. This is an oversized blast chamber with the ports, but it technically is considered a 4-inch ported barrel. And then we're going to step it on up to the 6.5-inch barrel here with the Smith & Wesson Model 29. So normally this is the part where I'd be trying to guess what kind of performance I might see. This right here leaves me absolutely no doubt. Just the plain fact that it's 44 Magnum Federal ammo, this stuff is going to do a fantastic job. Let's get it all set up and see what happens. All right, let's see what we can get out of these Magnum powered shockers, y'all. And we'll do a 5-round average on each barrel length. We'll start with the Taurus tracker first, the 4-inch ported barrel. Now remember, these are saying 1210 feet per second from a 4-inch vented barrel. They say 4-inch ported barrel. Now you will see multiple velocity readings from this lab radar. Your large numbers right here at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one there is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet. And then I've got the other set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. So 1210 is what we're looking for right here. Hopefully I don't have any trouble with this port messing up my radar here. We'll see what happens. Woo, that's spicy right there, son. 1224, yeah. That's spicy. That is a spicy meatball. Woo, 1213, 1229. This is spicy, boy. 1202. And 1206, this is some spicy stuff right here. Let's check out the average. All right, that right there gets the blood flowing, buddy. We got a 5-round average right there of 1215 feet per second. So above the 1210 they calling for. Now I noticed at the end we had a couple of little bit lower ones, a little under that 1215. Had one up to 1229 even. 26 extreme spread, which still isn't bad, even considering those last couple low ones, and an 11.4 standard deviation. That is definitely a spicy meatball right there. Let me get it reset and see what the 29 does. All right, let's see what this 6.5-inch barrel does with it now. It's definitely going to be more velocity, but it'd probably be smoother though, because this is a heavy tool right here. So let's see what we get from this one. Woo! I mean, that bad boy's on it. 1276. This baby ain't messing around, son. 1302. Yes, sir. 1296. 1251. And 1261, so just like the Taurus, it's probably heating the barrel up a little bit and slowing it down. This stuff right here ain't messing around. Let's check out the average. All right, y'all, that pumped it up sure enough. We had a 5-round average of 1277 feet per second. We was all the way up to 1302 on one of them. 51 extreme spread with a 21.9 standard deviation. So 1277, I mean, you're well over 800 foot-pounds of energy right there, pushing on 900, getting up close to 900. So So this is a spicy meatball right here. 1277 if you remember on the tracker. It was 1215, so you're talking 62 feet per second difference between them. Not a whole lot of difference. And as far as what that's gonna mean in the gel, probably not a whole lot as far as what we're gonna be able to see, because I'm gonna tell you right now, both of these things are absolutely gonna rock this gel. But that's enough talking about it. Let me get it all reset and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's these poor blocks are about to feel a Magnum Shok jelly time. We'll put one from each into the gel, starting with this 4-inch tracker first. Ain't no doubt we're gonna see some good stuff from both of these right here. All right, I'm sure that's a good one right there. Hopefully I didn't come out. It looks a little weird down there. Let me go check things out. All right, y'all, that's actually not at all what I expected right there. That stuff proved me totally wrong. I thought it was just an automatic given. We was getting ready to see some good stuff. I figured it was gonna have such massive expansion, it may not even make it to the second block, but as you'll see, it had 0 expansion and almost made it through both blocks. That's very surprising. I would have never guessed that one right there. Hopefully this 6.5-inch Model 29 will give it a little bit of redemption, but I don't know. I don't have the best hopes now. All right, that's exactly where I wanted to put it. Let's go see what this stuff looks like. All right, let's check out what we got down here, y'all. This is definitely not what I expected. Halfway it is, halfway it isn't, because the old Callahan special did get us some redemption. Now, first up on the top here, this is the one through the 4-inch ported Taurus tracker. Basically a 3-inch though. I call it more effectively a 3-inch barrel with a blast chamber port on the end. And in the good old Model 29 6.5-inch barrel, this one got it up to speed. This round right here was over 100 FPS faster than this round right here. So there's no doubt there was a big difference right here, and you can see what difference that velocity made. This one comes in here, fantastic disruption. I mean, complete energy dump, over 800 foot-pounds of energy just dumped in that gel all the way through this first block into the second block, probably about 3 inches or so. And this one does have some nice expansion from what I can tell. Now, as far as the penetration, the one through the Taurus tracker is all the way down here to 30 3/4 inches. Actually, right at 31, there's a little forward momentum. You got 31 inches. I mean, it is dangerously close to coming out the end down there. And again, it's sitting down here backwards with no expansion at all. And then the one through the 6.5-inch Model 29 is actually out here to 19 1/4 inches. And it has some fantastic expansion. So totally different stories between those two. And here's your look up close. Again, on the top is the 4-inch tracker. The bottom is the 6.5-inch Model 29. You can definitely see the difference there. Absolutely no doubt about it. We'll do this Model 29 first. You can see into the second block with some very nice expansion. Now, if we go back up here to this one, it's going to be tricky following it this way, but it's actually that little small skinny track right there on the bottom. If you can follow it through there, it's still on the bottom. Now it goes behind this, and then the projectile sitting there behind that, I'll show you from above. So here we are from above. Now this tracker is the one we're trying to look at here. So if you keep on looking, keep on following it through there, it's going to be behind where you're seeing these little speckles of jackets. So the kind of that larger area, if you keep on following it, it's in between those tracks coming from the other way, and then it's down below that. And then if I show you a little peek there, you can see the projectile sitting there. But again, there is absolutely no crossover between any of those tracks, and either way, it should have done its thing way before then. All right, let's check out these projectiles, y'all. Obviously, night and day difference right here. Absolute night and day difference. This one with the 4-inch ported tracker, this, the 6.5-inch 29. I mean, you can see that 6.5-inch Model 29 got it done, buddy. That's some very, very nice expansion, very nice performance all around from that one right there. This 4-inch tracker just didn't get it done. I mean, you can see there maybe a little bit of flaring, a little bit of deformation around the mouth there, and I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to see inside well enough to see the post is actually pushed over to the side there. And there was no cloth jammed in here when I pulled it out. There's really no big area of cloth where it might have been clogged and dumped. Right here, there's a little bit of cloth, more than a little bit, but nothing like from what I've seen that would lead me to believe that it clogged up and dumped a bunch out. I personally think this stuff just did not have quite enough velocity to get it to do what it needed to do, being a 240 grain chunk like this. But let's get some numbers on them and see what that looks like. Obviously, they both started at 240. This one from the 4-inch tracker is at 240.2, so obviously nothing lost right there. This one from the 6.5 model 29 is 239.8, so you may have lost a crumb or two right there. It could just be pure manufacturing tolerances. And then as far as the size, we'll just do a base and length on this one here. You got 430 right there for a diameter with a length of 712. And then this big old mushroom cloud looking thing right here, you got 726 and 700. So absolutely fantastic expansion from that one. And there you go, y'all, the Federal Premium Hydra Shok 44 Magnum 240 grain. Very surprising right here as far as this 4-inch ported tracker. I figured this was going to get good performance out of both of these, but once you start thinking about it, I mean, looking at that velocity with a 240 grain projectile is a good projectile, but it is an older design. Everybody knows that. It does pretty well in pretty much most of the stuff that I've tested. Here and there you get a little fumble, and this happens to be one of those times where you got a little fumble right here. My opinion, I just think it was lacking the velocity it needed to get this big old 240 grain projectile to open up. But as far as this 6.5 inch, I mean, this is fantastic performance right here. This would absolutely get pretty much whatever job done that needed to get done. As far as this goes, this would probably get the job done too, as long as you put it in the right place. And depending on what it hit, you know, hard stuff wise, it may deform, open up, who knows. But this is just not what you were expecting, and it's just not what you were paying for. So in my opinion, from the 4-inch ported tracker, this one's a failure. All right, y'all, we came close to getting good performance out of all 6 rounds that were sent into the jail during this little test session out here, and the one that let us down was one that I figured would have passed with flying colors. Now, obviously, it wasn't a total failure out here because the 6.5 inch had absolutely fantastic performance, but the 4-inch ported tracker was a total failure, and that's what they're claiming performance from, was a 4-inch vented barrel. You know, maybe you can say, well, they're using a full 4-inch rifled barrel with the vents on the end, but even still, I mean, you're just really nitpicking right there. In my opinion, you should have gotten a performance right there based on what their claims are. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. Do any of y'all out there actually run any of this Hydra Shok 44 Magnum for EDC personal defense type situations? I know I've got a couple people out there for sure that carry a 44 Magnum that I know of. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the performance from this right here. And if you do carry a 44 Magnum, sure enough, let me know what you carry in it. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to take a second to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and get those notifications turned on so hopefully you get notified when I upload stuff. A reminder as always, if you're doing some shopping, check out those affiliate links I've got in the video description. Tons of really good stuff down there, and anything you pick up helps the channel, so I really appreciate that. Huge thanks again to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've gotten some really good stuff done out here today, and I've got tons more on the way, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.